The majority of bankruptcies in America is because of medical things that happen.
Leading cause.
So healthcare is not something just for retirees. We need to be thinking about this for all of us, because this definitely falls into the financial order of operations of making sure you don't put your life in the ditch because you haven't prepared accordingly.
And when we actually look at numbers, we can put some hard data to this. Fidelity does an annual study, and they found that the average 65-year-old retiring in 2025 can expect to spend over $172,000 on healthcare and medical expenses in retirement. So this is stuff like out-of-pocket drug costs, Medicare, Part B and Part D, co-pays, co-insurance, deductibles, all the things that get wrapped into healthcare fall into this number, and it is substantial for most retirees.
Yeah, and then I think if you roll that in, this is back to, I think people don't think about this until it's too late, because if you look at the next stat, 1 in 5 Americans say they have never considered healthcare needs in retirement. So remember what I was talking about? Yes, you're not in that 60 to 70 age group of who was interviewed for this survey, but you definitely probably fall into the category of just not giving this enough mental awareness.
Yeah, I think even this says 1 in 5 have never considered it. That means that 1 in 5 have never planned for it, have never factored it into their retirement plan. And what makes me concerned about that is that if we fail to plan for something, if we fail to think about it ahead of the time, it's going to make it that much harder. I mean, when we sit down with clients, Brian, one of the things we want to do is we want to kind of iterate, what are all the possible outcomes that we could see? What are all the things that we think could happen? What are all the unknown unknowns that we could apply some estimations to? And the better we can do that, the better prepared we can be for retirement. And yet, 1 in 5 folks aren't even thinking about this. It's not even crossing their radar. So the ultimate question then becomes, okay, well, you sitting out there in audience land, what can you do?
Well, once again, applying this back to the financial order of operations, we love the fact that why not start out and see if you even qualified for a health savings account?
Mm-hmm. And for those of you that don't know, HSA, health savings account, is literally a triple tax advantage savings vehicle. When you put money in, you can get a tax deduction on the front end. If you're like 13% of Americans that recognize this, you can then invest those dollars to grow for the future. And if you use it for qualified medical expenses, you get to pull those dollars out completely tax-free. So you get a tax deduction on the front end, tax deferred growth, and then tax-free distributions for medical. It is literally triple tax advantage. It is an amazing savings vehicle that you can use both for current or intermediate term medical expenses as well as future retirement medical expenses.
Even in our show meeting this morning, one of our video editors, when he saw the $173,000 that Fidelity estimated, he goes, "Whew, that's a big number."
Big.
But then you jumped right to this point, and this is something we want to kind of change everybody's perspective. Remember, you're more than likely, if you're watching this and you're in our key demo, you're somewhere between 25 to 45 years of age. Your number is not the same as the 60 to 70-year-old. So look at this. A 20-year-old who woke up and realized, oh my gosh, I better make sure I have my health care covered in the future. We're only talking $33 a month or $4,000, a little under $5,000 lump sum right now. For the 30-year-old, $76 a month, a little under $11,000 for the 40-year-old. More realistic, probably thinking about these type of things. $182 a month or a little under $24,000. And even for the 50-year-old, my fellow brethren, actually, I'm older than that now. It's $499 a month or a lump sum of around $52,000. Still a big chunk of money, but if you take that into, that's a third, less than a third of the $173,000 that you know is sitting out there waiting for people as they approach retirement.
Yeah, I think when we think about $173,000, it's this big mountain that we think we have to overcome. But you just said, Brian, whether you are age 20 all the way out to age 50, if you can just save somewhere between $30 to $500, and you can just do that consistently, you can be prepared for these expenses. These don't have to be things that slip up on you. So a little bit of preparation can go a long way. And that is also true in how you incur your healthcare costs later on in life. And so one of the things that we would encourage you is be proactive with your health. Obviously, the decisions that you're making today, no matter what age you are, will have implications to the standard of living that you have later in life. So the earlier you can make healthy decisions around how you feed your body, how you move your body, and how you recover your body, the earlier you figure that out, the lower the probability is you're going to have higher healthcare costs later on in retirement.
Bo just put a lot of words to basically saying health is wealth.
That's it.
And look, Bo has done a great job of keeping himself fit, but he's always just kept himself game ready. Let's be honest here. Whereas I am the better before pitcher that has definitely created. So I think I would be on the pitcher element of somebody who just took my health for granted and then one day realized, you know what? Probably in my late 30s, about the time Bo is right now, I realized, you know what? I'm not headed to be where I want to be from a health perspective, maybe financially. And I think a lot of you guys, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you'll say, yeah, I'm doing a great job as a financial mutant, but am I applying the same discipline? Am I applying the same mindset of I'm preparing for the future with deferred gratification to my health? And I think if you put it through that lens, a lot of you, who, like I said, you're in that key demo, 25 to 45 years of age, go ahead and start investing in that right now, because you know what's great about being a financial mutant and having all this wealth that will come to you at a later date is being healthy.
That's right.
And being able to actually use this and create memories and live your best life, not only financially, but also from a health perspective.
There's no point in having all the money saved up and not actually being able to enjoy it, not actually being able to carry out those goals that you have. And if you're a financial mutant, this is just something worth noodling in the back of your mind. It is less expensive to prepare to be healthy than to wait and get sick and have to spend money on that. Prevention is much cheaper. So if you can begin making those decisions early on, there's a really good chance that you can set yourself up for success. But maybe you are someone who is later on in your working life cycle and you're thinking about entering into this stage where you have to make some decisions around things like, when am I going to take Social Security, or how am I going to cover my healthcare costs? Make sure that when you get to that stage, you measure 2, 3, 4 times and you select your Medicare plan carefully, because the fact is the type of insurance you select when you hit age 65 can have a huge impact on the costs that you incur as you move through retirement.
Well, I think that this transition is perfect, is because we're not the only people that say health is wealth. You can go out there and find so much content on eating better, living better, exercising. But when you go out there and try to find content on how do you choose the best Medicare plan, it gets much, much harder. You know why? Is because, once again, personal finance is very personal, and everybody's got different structures. They've got different health needs. So it all gets very personalized very quickly. And that's why it's a great transition. Guys, as you create success, we can give you all the content in the world telling you how to get there, but you go quickly realize as you create success, it's going to have more complexity in your personal life, not only for your health, but for your finances. And that's why we say this is why we can fulfill the abundance cycle. We can give you all this free information because we know if you just do what we tell you to do, you're going to be so successful that you go, okay, this must be what the guys are talking about, because I need to know what Medicare plan to do. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of options for me. And we're going to leave the porch light on for you and let you know we are taking clients all across the country. This has been the greatest success point, that my passion that started in 2006, and then we fulfilled this thing where we hopefully give you all this free education to be the best version of yourself. There is a payoff point down the road after you've created monstrous success that you'll say, hey, I remember those guys planting those seeds in me. I would love to, those seeds of information that have turned into nuggets of just gold wealth and just living my best life. Why not give these guys a chance?